Have you ever noticed that every time you want to try something new, whether it be something major, like changing careers, or something even more simple, like joining a gym, that there's a voice inside your head that discourages you from doing them? Hi, I'm Guillermo, and I can assure you that this voice is not coming from your higher self or either God. Your higher self does not fear those things, as he or she is always wanting you to grow and evolve. Your higher self would actually be encouraging you to try new things all the time. So the voice you hear telling you not to waste your time trying new things is your ego. You see, the ego is intimidated by growth or change, for he or she fears losing control. When considering a change in careers, it would probably try to convince you into staying put in your current job, because you might fail in a new job, and you know what that would mean. It would mean that if you failed at a new job, you would become unemployed, which means you would lose your car or your home or your children's college tuition. So when it comes to joining a gym where you can start working on your fitness, your ego would probably tell you not to spend the money because you would probably lose interest and stop growing. That happened to you? So if you're spending time wondering why your life is uninteresting and filled with sameness, chances are that you have allowed your ego to control your thinking and your actions. Your ego has been using fear to exert its power over you. And the way to identify when your ego is talking is to remember that the ego is always fatalistic. If you're constantly talking yourself out of trying new things, then bingo, your ego's controlling. By the way, this is also true when it comes to encountering new people in your life. The ego is always suspicious of them and will discourage you from forming new relationships by highlighting the things he or she sees as faults, and then trying to convince you that you don't want people like that in your life. Now, what helps me reduce the control of my ego is to remember that success is just as likely as failure in any situation. There's no reason to fear failure, for a more interesting and full life can be yours just as well. The way I become accustomed to look at life is that the choices we make are neither right nor wrong. They contain different lessons to learn. The fact is, as you get more experience in life, you're actually more equipped and better able to navigate whatever situation demands of you. While change can introduce an element of risk, it also opens the opportunity for you to evolve. You got to also remember, a choice not to change is also a decision. Now, while there's nothing wrong with choosing not to change, but if you choose to stay put out of fear of taking a risk, then you're probably choosing the ego's path of sameness, which leads to boredom, which leads to non-growth and the death of your spirit. By the way, this also applies to new relationships. Think back and notice the influence people have had on your life. They've been your teachers. Even the most inconsequential people who come into your life, like someone you ran into at the grocery store, has something to teach you. Now, the ego does not want you to recognize that and prefers to keep you sheltered and unchallenged. So if you wish to unshackle yourself from the control of your ego, it is important to realize that when you fear taking a chance on something because you might suffer, you're already suffering because you fear. So drive fear out of your thinking